So many talented and popular chart analysts announced over the past week or so that XRP was poised to go on a serious run. And indeed it has. Today it happened. XRP hit, as of the time that I'm recording this, XRP hit as high as $2.41. That means it's up about 34%, since it bottomed around $1.80 or so in late 2025. And so I'm going to share commentary and analysis with you from 14 different XRP chart analysts in this very latest Moonlambo hot jam. And you're going to like what you have to hear. That won't surprise. There's multiple price predictions into double-digit price territory. And the implication, let me tell you at the outset, the implications for the future based on what has unfolded here is very notable. You're going to want to stick with me through this video because what we're seeing, we've actually seen this movie before. And so if history kind of rhymes with itself and based on what we're seeing today, it's just further indication that, yeah, looks like it is. If we're right about this, finally, like this is going to be the thing that makes so many XRP holders filthy rich. If now we need to see it play out, and nobody knows for sure what's going to happen. I'm not trying to get ahead of the situation here, but if indeed things are playing out the way that we hope it is, and based on historic precedent, before this market cycle's over, XRP is currently $2.38, but as you can see, we did hit a 24-hour high just a bit ago of $2.41. So that's about 34% up from the local bottom. We're up 29% in the last 7 days, and we're up nearly 12% over the last 24 hours. This is very obviously a rather large day. XRP, not surprisingly, the number one performer out of the top 10 coins by market cap. In fact, multiple coins are down today. XRP just blazed to the upside. And look, if you've been watching my videos over the past week or so, I just got to ask, did you notice how many analysts I've highlighted said, hey, XRP looks really primed right now? Tons of them, right? And so this is the reason I track so many chart analysts, reputable chart analysts with overall great track records. Because when you find this batch of chart analysts start to say the same or similar things, history tells me that they're almost always right. Not always. Sometimes the improbable happens. But usually when you get this many analysts who are talented saying about the same thing, hey, XRP looks primed, that's because it's actually primed. And wouldn't you know it, inside of a matter of several days or whatever it's been, XRP did move to the upside. It became a popular opinion. It's not like they're all sitting there copying each other. Most of the time, they're not echoing the same thoughts. So when they do start to do that, which only happens every so often, they're almost always right. Isn't that something? That's why I track these analysts. That's why I make these videos. There is something to this. I'm telling you, folks. And so Bitcoin also went up today. It's not as much as XRP, obviously. It's up 0.67 over the last 24 hours, but hit as high as $94,599, currently at $93,590. So still happy to see that. And then there was this post from Satoshi Flipper, a very popular chart analyst with 239,000 followers on X. And here you have an others BTC chart. So it's basically taken as altcoins priced against Bitcoin. And this is a 3-day chart. And he wrote, oh my God, is it finally happening after 5 long AF years? And so what he's showing here is altcoins priced against Bitcoin breaking out of this falling wedge. Finally, there are multiple analysts I follow that have been making the same point a lot recently. This is just one of many examples that I'm highlighting in this video. And look at that. It's ripping. Now, XRP's outperforming. XRP also breaking out of what tons of analysts I follow have called a falling wedge. Tons of them. It's doing the same thing. XRP is just more pronounced. But the whole market's moving this way. And I just think that it's very obvious that in these types of situations where alts start going, XRP is just primed to be an outperformer. It's a good time to be an XRP holder, my friends. Here's a post from X-Force Global. He shared an 8-minute video here. And for the sake of time, I'm not going to go through the analysis or anything like that. I just want to share with you the overall conclusions that analysts are coming to here. I try not to get into the nitty gritty here. That's not the purpose of this. If you want to understand technical analysis, go to a technical analysis channel. I just want to find out what is probable to occur. And then again, like I said, if you follow the right batch of analysts consistently, then you can find when they all agree that something's about to happen. That's when it gets interesting. But here's what he had to say. X-Force Global wrote, XRP. Here's proof that XRP can easily go to $5 this cycle and even up to $20 plus using pattern recognition from the Elliott wave theory and market psychology. And look, none of that's crazy. I don't know where XRP is going to go price-wise this cycle. I do not make price predictions, but if it sounded like Looney Tunes land, I'd tell you, none of that sounds crazy. $20 XRP this cycle does not sound crazy. And it'd be amazing too. Now keep in mind, XRP bottomed this market cycle in June of 2022 at 28 cents. So even if you get to like any level of double digit, that is just, oh my God, that is beyond just vindication for XRP holders. That is going to be so life-changing for so many people that have been around for years and years and years. From 28 cents to like $10 even if it just went there. Total, and that's the type of thing that can happen in crypto. We just need the right environment, and I think that's what 2027 is baking, or 2026 rather. 2026 is baking, I think. Here's a post from Javon Marks. XRP nears a key level at $2.47. A break above brings $4.80 back into play as a technical target. And so he's thinking we could be seeing, perhaps even sooner than later, finally some of that face melting price action. Because if you're talking about almost $5, that means some hot shit's happening right there. That's when it's going to get real interesting. So it was real fun in 2025 watching XRP hit new all-time highs multiple times. I really genuinely enjoyed that. So vindicating, because we were told that was never going to happen, but it did. But the most consequential and great part of what's going to happen to us as XRP holders will occur when you actually get true face melting price discovery. That's the last piece we're waiting for. I believe that it is coming. Here's a post from Chartnerd. This is from this afternoon. XRP, who asked the gods for candles? XRP has taken out the last 52 days worth of downtrend in just 4 days. 30% recovery, bullish reversal in full swing. And yeah, so he's one of the analysts that was calling for a move. And yep, this is why I always say, like, things change quickly in crypto when they do. So it might feel like you're dragging on forever. Maybe it felt like that to some of you because Q4 there was a lot of sideways and down action, including for XRP, and it depresses people. I get that, but like I always say, either you have exposure to the market when it goes or you don't. Did you have exposure to XRP today? Well, I hope so, because it's done incredibly. Like, this has been a great day for XRP holders, unquestionably. But even when we're in moments of extreme fear, which we've been in a lot of over the last few months, like I always say, when we're at those extremes, and I said it multiple times in Q4, as we were in extreme fear, I said at some unknown point in the future, we will be back in extreme greed. And we haven't hit that yet, but we're going to. I just don't know when. So it just doesn't make, when you have that type of perspective, it helps to alleviate the fear. That's why I reiterate stuff like that on this channel. It doesn't make sense to be fearful just because of volatility. The volatility is the purpose of investing. It literally is the purpose of investing. Volatility is. Here's a post from chart analyst Tara. XRP Wave 3 just broke 2.618 extension past the macro $2.30 resistance with strong RSI. Next stop, $2.49 for the fifth wave .618 extension. Okay, well, we haven't quite made it there yet, and she was thinking that there's a chance we might have to go down a little bit before going up. But again, having hit $2.41, that's pretty strong. And again, tons of the analysts I follow are calling for moves like this. Tons of them. Go back and listen to my videos over the last week. I highlighted them. There really is something. It's not a coincidence, folks. This is not a fluke. They really did see this coming. A technical analysis does work. It's not some sort of sorcery. It really does work. Here's a post from chart analyst eGreg Crypto. XRP next target should be $2.50. Well, that's not far off from what Tara was talking about, so I thought I'd share that with you. We'll see how high we get before. And to be clear, XRP is not going to go up perfectly in a straight line. So even if it's down to whatever degree by the time you're finally watching this video, we ain't done. 2026, this is going to be our party year, I'm willing to bet. I'm telling you, man. Here's a post from chart analyst Crypto Michael from January 2nd. He said XRP swept the $1.80 low and bounced as predicted, bullish reversal incoming. So there's yet another analyst I follow who just a few days ago, 3 days ago, said bullish reversal incoming. He predicted that. Again, he's one of many analysts I follow that said that. And then he reposted that just this early evening, 4:33 p.m. today. And he said, XRP call playing out perfectly. I hope you listened. Oh, yeah, I heard you, son. And here you can see he's projecting the short term up to $2.70. Yep. This is not sorcery. It's not a fluke. When this many analysts come to the same or similar conclusion, it almost always happens. Almost always. This is an example of that. You can see it firsthand. This is not made up stuff. It actually works. Here's a post from Crypto Insight UK. Now, this is an interesting one. You're going to love this one. He wrote, XRP Daily Relative Strength Index touches into the overbought area. These are the recent times we've closed in this area and what it meant for price. Okay, so you've got XRP up top going back to the end of 2024. That's how long this chart is. And then down here, this line right here, that's the Relative Strength Index. It's a scale of 0 to 100. And when you hit 30 or below, you're in oversold territory. When you hit 70 or above, you are in overbought territory. Now, that might sound bad. You think overbought? Oh gosh, well that means it's probably going to go back down soon. Then, right? Well, not so fast, not necessarily. When you hit overbought territory, it can persist for some time. Now, mind you, this is on a one-day chart. So if you pick a different time horizon, it's going to look a little bit different. But on the one-day chart, you are up there. And so it can persist a little bit higher. But look at what it looks like going back to 2024, the last 3 times this happened. Well, the first time on this chart that it happened was in November of 2024. That's when XRP price rocketed from about 49 cents or whatever it was up to $2.92 in early December. Then we cooled off a little bit. Then it hit above 70 again, where I moved my mouse, and price rocketed to a new all-time high of $3.35 on January, I think it was January 16th, I want to say, 2025, a year ago. Hit a new all-time high for the first time in 7 years. And that was when we broke again above 70. The next time we broke above 70 on RSI on the daily, it was in July. What happened then? As you can see here, XRP hit more all-time highs. It hit a new all-time high all the way up to $3.65. And what he's telling you is it just happened for a 4th time. So if it's like the last 3 times, you're going to see greater fireworks than what we've seen to this point, perhaps. That's interesting, is it not? Yes, indeed. Here's a post from the great Matsby. This is an XRP BTC chart, and this is a fun one too. It says something incredibly bullish is developing on the XRP BTC chart that has not happened in a very long time. It's about to break above the monthly Ichimoku cloud for the first time since 2018, which means XRP is about to massively outperform Bitcoin. Now that's something, isn't it? So it took us 7 years to get a new all-time high price for XRP. We got it in January of last year. We have not had a new all-time high price for XRP against Bitcoin. Not since the first half of 2017. Folks, you understand, it has been almost 9 years since XRP has had a new all-time high against Bitcoin. Was that the last time it would ever happen? 2017 because reasons, that was it. XRP had a really high all-time high against Bitcoin, but it would never happen again. And we've just been fools for 9 years just about now, and it's just never going to happen. Yeah, I don't buy that shit. Of course it's going to happen again. I don't pretend to know when, but think about this. Look at how low XRP is where I move my mouse compared to the all-time high back here in 2017. Do you see how much of a gap can be filled? Now, of course you do. The cool thing is we're already at $2.38 as I record this. That's the price of XRP when we're down here. So to catch up, and what that means in terms of dollars, I didn't crunch the numbers before recording this, but you're easily into double-digit price action. And to think that this is never going to happen, come on. That's an absurd consideration as far as I'm concerned. Best is yet ahead, folks. Here's a post from Steph is Crypto. XRP is about to explode just like it did in 2017. Buckle up. Well, I don't doubt that. I do not doubt that. And he posted that just this morning. History rhymes with itself. You see how many analysts are expecting this that I follow? And mind you, outside of the analysts I follow, this wasn't like broadly discussed. There weren't just like a ton of analysts talking about how XRP is about to go. No, you have to be careful who you follow. Most of the analysts in existence are terrible. They are not good at charting. They are fake chart analysts on the internets. They're fake gurus and so on and so forth. And they became bears. They flipped bearish because the price went down. Because that's how humans behave. It's silly nonsense. That's how humans behave. Whatever direction the price is going, it makes you feel a certain way. And that's what you say. You just say it's going to keep going that way. So if you're a regular human, you believe that. And if you're a very terrible chart analyst, you're going to say it then too. And you're going to use bad chart analysis to justify it. Here's a post from All in Crypto. XRP's falling wedge breakout continues to play out. Here's an example next to its Ethereum Classics falling wedge break back in 2020 we called. I'm expecting a similar move for XRP lock-in. Okay, so here's the XRP falling wedge. Tons of analysts have pointed out this formation, and obviously it's breaking out. And then the Ethereum Classic chart he's talking about is this one back in this 2020, and then ultimately wasn't that into 2021? Whatever it was. I remember this though. I remember when Ethereum Classic went crazy. So, but anyway, so he's just saying this is the type of formation that you should expect. And I'm not a chart guy. I don't want to be one, but I know enough to know that these things typically resolve to the upside, and certainly it's unfolding that way. So much higher ahead, perhaps, right? Here's a post from Charting Guy. He shared a post from November 27th. Yesterday he shared that. A post from the 27th, and he was just noting XRP was basically in a year-long reaccumulation. He reposted that November 27th post last night, and he said XRP following perfectly, and he laid down the fractal showing XRP getting up close to $8, which he's been predicting for some time. We are not done here, folks. This is the chart formation that he believes is playing out right now. Here's chart analyst Melius. Posted this just this morning. XRP RSI breaks out sometime in Q1. Price goes higher. PS conservative count assumes there is only one wave left. Okay, if there's only one major wave to the upside, that's what he's showing would be up here with the price of XRP at about $13. One final burst. Now, even with me not being a chart guy, that rings true to me because I know that happened last cycle and the cycle before that. You get a major burst, you consolidate, and then you get one final major burst. And that one's bigger than the first one. We haven't had that yet. So if that's the way it plays out and history rhymes with itself, I can buy that. That doesn't sound crazy at all. And he's saying he's charting up here $13 if that happens. I will be very happy. Here's chart analyst Dark Defender. He's plotting XRP up to $18.22. So he is still in full bull mode. He does believe indeed that is coming. And then there was this post finally from CoinsKid. XRP looking for a rejection of the weekly RSI 50 level and another push down to shake out the weak hands before liftoff to new all-time highs. Now, that was from this morning, and XRP went on an absolute tear after he posted this. I guess it was already at, looks like, actually, what was it? Let's go ahead and check. I'm just curious. 6 a.m. So it would have been, it was. Okay, so his chart, that is, I was wondering if it's $2.13, and that's what I thought it was with that color. But so about $2.13, it went way higher, obviously. So his expectation that we'd have to go lower, that didn't pan out, but he was still a bull overall. I think we're gonna be going higher ultimately. So again, this is just what I keep seeing. Folks, the best is yet ahead. I do not know how you could not be optimistic as an XRP holder here. Let me know what you guys think, but I'm floating on a cloud here. Like, I don't know exactly what's going to happen, but in a general sense, I've got a pretty good idea of what's probable. So many of us are going to get ridiculously rich this market cycle if this plays out the way we're expecting it to. So we'll find out together, and if I'm wrong, I guess maybe it goes to zero. It's possible. I'm not counting on that. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea.